Know what problem we need to solve. This would be worth taking a photo of. So I'll move out of the way. So here's some KPIs we would expect generally in a fitness business. As a minimum, you want a call show-up rate roughly 50% plus, call close rate 50% plus. Your churn rate as a minimum should be 10% or less. Your LTV to CAC ratio, which stands for lifetime value and then cost to acquire a customer, is a 3-to-1. Your cost to acquire a customer, you would basically work out with a formula of how much you spend on marketing, how much your closers cost, how much your setters cost, total of whatever that expense is, divided by how many people sign up that month. So say you spent £10,000 or dollars on Facebook ads, setters, and the closer, and you had 10 clients sign up, your cost to acquire a customer would be $1,000. Profit margins should always be 48% plus upwards. That's really going to depend on the size of your business, because the bigger the business is, the more overheads you're going to have. So that's very case dependent. I would say with that though, that you will go through periods where you have to invest heavily back into the business as you're looking to scale things up. So that will fluctuate. And then a great question I get a lot of the time is the marketing costs. How much should I spend on Facebook ads? How much should I spend on traffic? The way social media works now is very much getting a pay to play. And if you know your numbers, is actually easier than ever to scale. And I'm going to show you some of the ways how in this talk. But roughly, you want to be looking at 10 to 20% of your revenue you put into front-end marketing. So for example, if you make 10 grand a month, 1,000 to 2,000. If you make 100 grand a month, 10 to 20K a month, within that type of range. Now, if we break these down by one, if these are the issues you have. So I think Shako actually mentioned this. And a few people have mentioned this. And so as we go through these, I'm going to offer you solutions of how to improve these with some of the new things that are working. So increasing call show rates, sending them a personalized WhatsApp video as soon as the call was booked in. So I took a call yesterday with a guy who signed up, and then I sent him a WhatsApp video when I was walking on the treadmill at the gym. He's like, holy shit, is this AI? I was like, no dude, it's actually me, which I thought was quite funny. But this is superhuman interaction. It's like scaling by doing the unscalable, and getting your closers to send personalized videos to someone is huge. And I remember I bought some tickets for a Grant Cardone thing last year, and I'm not even joking, within like 30 seconds, I think I had about 3 customized videos from people from his team. I was like, shit, that's impressive. But you also see face-to-face the person you're going to be speaking with, because people are more inclined to turn up if they know, oh, I've got a call with Nick, I can see Nick, he looks like a nice guy, I'm going to feel bad if I don't show up. Otherwise, there's a name on the calendar, like they don't really care, right? So that would be one thing. Second thing is pushing them into long-form content after the call is confirmed. The best way you can get someone bought into your process and you as a person is to watch longer form or listen to longer form content. Reels and short form content on Instagram is great. Instagram is a conversion platform, but it's not great in terms of warming people up, because if I watch a 30-second reel from Chris, I'm not going to be like, I don't really know a huge amount about him, but if I watch a 10-minute video, I can see the way he communicates, the way he talks, his energy, what he's about. So that has a huge impact. Something else I would also do, if you have, for example, phone closers or someone who's taking calls on your team, you could actually have them in some of the videos with you, so it puts that person on a pedestal and gives them some authority as well. Call close rate. So with this, if you're above 60%, you need to increase your price. Most people bottle it respectfully when it comes to this. The worst thing that can happen, you increase the price, you don't close, you go back to where you were, you increase the price, you close, you make loads more money. Like, you can't really lose. There's an expression in business, you have a one-way door and a two-way door. This is a two-way door. If you increase the price and you can't sell it, you just go back down again. So there is literally nothing to lose other than you just don't make more money if you don't ask the question. Secondly, if you're below 50, 60% in terms of closing right now, booking a one-to-one sales call for training with Jack and actually get your calls recorded and send them to him. The quickest way to improve from a closing perspective is someone from the outside look at your call and be like, do you see your tonality? Do you see how you said this? Do you see how you paused and you seemed uncertain? There's small little things you're probably doing right now that you don't realize. Thirdly, anyone who's got a payment processor in the US, this is even better, but I don't think he's here, Tyler, but actually you should definitely do this. So anyone from the US, client financing is massive. So something called a firm in the US is wild, where someone could pay you 3 to 5 grand up front, you get paid straight away, but the client will then pay over 2 to 3 years in installments. In the UK, you have things like Klarna, which is very easy to integrate into Stripe. Fourthly, in terms of call close rates, is doing split plays. And fifthly is reviewing scripts. If you don't have scripts, and you don't have a framework in terms of how you're selling people, that's probably the problem. If you also do not know any of these numbers, this is also going to be part of your problem. So what gets tracked and gets managed, you can then actually improve because you can then see what the problem is. Reducing client churn rate. The quickest way to do this is decreasing the time to value. So how quickly does someone get something, like a response, an improvement? And in the fitness niche, majority of people in here will be helping people lose weight, which is why it's essential in the first 5 to 7 days. If you do fat loss, the person loses weight. If you have not done that, you are pretty fucked. Because if you're asking someone to come in and they're going to eat things they don't want to eat and change their entire lifestyle, and nothing changes, how likely is it they're going to want to keep continuing? But if they come in and they start Ollie's program and they drop 4 or 5 kilos in the first 2-3 weeks, and they drop maybe 2-3 pounds the first 5 to 7 days, they'd be like, this is awesome. They'd be pumped. They have momentum. They have confidence, which means the likelihood of them renewing and actually getting a great result and then potentially getting more referrals is going to increase dramatically. Second point is resetting goals constantly. So from a fitness aspect, when do your fitness goals end? When you die. So like, I would make a bit of a joke of that to people, it's like constantly setting new goals to people. Thirdly is one-to-one relationship with a coach. So coach-client relationships are huge. If you're coaching people, they should like you. If your coaches are coaching people, then being charismatic, personable is huge. And fourthly is community aspects. So things like Facebook groups, events, group calls, doing challenges in groups, even WhatsApp communities. If you have smaller groups, I do a WhatsApp community. I would definitely not have a WhatsApp group if you have over 100 clients. I can give you a very good story why. I remember 2021 maybe, I think we maybe had like 200-300 people in a WhatsApp group with fitness clients, and we were selling people all over the world. We had a lot of people coming in from the US, and someone from the US would come in cold from an ad, they would join, and they put in their email wrong, didn't get the questionnaire, and they would put in the WhatsApp group, like, this whole thing's a fucking scam. Then all of our clients jump in, start defending us. I'd wake up at 7 a.m. and it's like, what the fuck is this? Like World War III's going on with like 500 back and forth and people slagging each other. So from experience of like what not to do, once you get over like 20 people, don't have a WhatsApp group, like have a Facebook group you can moderate. I can see Sasha and people nodding in the background because it's literally, if you want less stress, just trust me, it's a good idea. When we come to reducing cost to acquire a customer, so the cost of Facebook ads and advertising has increased and will continue to do so, which is actually going to come into the pricing aspect later on and some things we're going to go through, which are really easy to implement. One is improve the quality of your ads. So people think, oh, Facebook ads don't work, this is terrible, this is a scam. Facebook is $1 trillion company, like with a T, like massive. Facebook ads work, it's just you don't know how to get them to work, or you're not putting enough effort into the creative to be good enough. So is the hook good enough? Is the way the video is filmed good enough? Is the dynamic good enough? Is it speaking to the actual person who you want to bring through as a client? Like the more specific you are to the type of person, the more specific Facebook is going to be pushing that to someone. Because they use AI to read all the video, read all the copy that you're going through, and they will push that to the right type of person. So this is a huge thing to first look at. Secondly is improving ad targeting. So firstly, if you're ever going to run ads, if you're going to boost something, for example, don't ever put automatic. That's generally a very terrible idea because they will send it to the cheapest costs of audience. And we'll come on to targeting actually shortly in a second. 3 is improving organic presence and authority. So we use an ad tracking software called Hyros. And what's interesting, some of this we're going to talk about long form content as well. The guy we had a guy join 7-Figure Scaling Systems yesterday, and I looked on our tracking, I was like, he watched a video in July last year that I talked about Alex Hormozy. And I can see that where he's clicking links. I'm like, that's interesting. And this is going to come into some of the spider web marketing that we do, and I would recommend you do if you're looking to grow your business with leverage, because people are researching people online more than ever, and there are going to be multiple touch points to get someone to convert. And then fourthly, we sort of touched upon is being clearer and more specific on your messaging. The more vanilla and generic your content is, the less it's going to speak to anyone, the less of an impact it's going to have. If we're looking to increase LTV, charge more, keep the clients for longer, upsell them into higher ticket programs. So if you've got 50 clients you work with and you know some of these guys crush it, I'd create, like I used to do this, we'd create like client case studies where we have higher level programs we try and push people into. They maybe work more one-to-one with you. And then lastly, trying to collect more cash up front. So that is the easiest way in terms of increasing LTV. Ooh. And then increasing profit margin, again, charging more. Review how your team is paid and have it performance driven. So I feel like gun to the head and pull the trigger a lot of time when I speak to people who we don't work with, and I find out what they're paying people, what they're planning to pay people, because I know what will happen if you go from having 50 clients to 250 and you're massively overpaying your coaches. You basically have a job and not a business, and you basically work for your coaches at that point because they don't understand the cost and the work that goes into everything else. So making sure everything is aligned so it can actually grow and scale is huge. And then
if you enjoyed this clip and you're a business owner, content creator, or coach, and you want help in terms of exactly how to scale your business to the next level using ads, AI, VSLs, setters, and building teams that basically monetize your business and monetize your knowledge, but without you having to press all the buttons, it's never been easier than before. What we can do is we can walk through the whole process in terms of how we're doing this over and over and over again with content creators, with business owners. If you hit the link at the bottom of this video, you can book a call with us and the team. We can audit your whole business, show you where the bottlenecks are, and show you exactly how we can scale. And if we think you're a good fit to work with us, we can show you what that looks like too.